Oops, I went backwards. Okay, our next assumption is this thing called basic human sovereignty or human rights. So we want the open market to promote the idea that every human being is an individual human being who has certain rights and abilities and certain protections. No matter what they believe, no matter what they look like, no matter how they feel, they have total freedom to do whatever they want as long as whatever they're doing doesn't negatively impact another person. So that's what we define as human sovereignty. Now, the United Nations has a declaration of human rights that covers a lot of what I'm talking about here. So this isn't anything that I made up. You're free to go to the United Nations website and check it out. But basically, it says a lot of what I just said. Unfortunately, we don't follow that, as you know, here in the United States and elsewhere. The other thing about the basic human rights, according to our assumptions, has to be this. So every human being on the planet needs these 5 things in order to thrive. Not just survive, but to thrive. We need food, we need clothing, we need health care, we need education, and we need housing. Without any of these 5 things, you're suffering. So, according to my theory of basic human rights, everybody needs to have these without having to work for them, without having to pay for them. They should cost nothing to individuals, all individuals. So, the question I often get when I say something like what I just said is, how the heck are you going to do that? So let's take a look at how to do that. Let's reverse engineer a solution that'll get us from what we have today to that Star Trek universe that I was talking about a minute ago. Well, the first thing that people often ask is, how do you motivate people? The people on the right will say, if you don't make things scarce, requiring people to work for them, people aren't going to work. They're just going to sit around and get lazy. They're going to, how do they say it? They're going to subsist off the public dole, is what they say. But I know for a fact that all kinds of people work and they're not paid anything to do that work. For example, mothers raise children. They're not getting paid for that work. Mothers wash clothes. That's work. Work is defined as effort put forth in order to achieve something. So it doesn't necessarily, work does not only mean going to a cubicle and working for a corporation, putting out effort in order to produce product that an organization can therefore sell to other people. Work is human effort expended to produce a given result. And a lot of women I know are working and they're not getting paid for any of the work they're doing. And men do the same thing. So when a person says that poor people don't work, that's not true. Human beings work all the time, and they will work without being paid because they're doing it right now. So, how do you motivate people to do things so that other people can achieve what I was talking about on the previous slide about those 5 basic needs? How do you provide those things and get people to provide them? Because you're going to need people to provide them until technology gets to the point where you don't need people to do that. Well, you have to reward them. Today we pay them. But in our assumption, in this reverse engineering experiment, we're going to reward people. We're not going to pay them. We're going to reward them.